Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. It is Sunday, but you know what? Black Friday deals don't stop. Black Friday deals under $5 in this video. We already did an under $5 video. Go check that out. But guess what? Steam's got so many deals running all the time that we're here with another under $5 video, and these deals are all available directly on Steam. So with that being said, let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with the Batman Arkham titles. Batman Arkham Asylum, $3.99. Batman Arkham City, $3.99. Now, these do fall under the $5 threshold. If you don't have any of the Batman Arkham games, I would recommend the Batman Arkham Collection. That includes Arkham Knight as well, and all the DLC for Arkham Knight for $8.99. You should definitely get that, but these two games are fantastic. Arkham Asylum is the game that kicked off the Arkham series back in 2009, came to PC in 2010. It does show its age a little bit, don't get me wrong, but I still think this is an awesome game to go back and play. I think the level design in this game is absolutely tremendous. I think the combat is enjoyable. I think the story is great. The atmosphere in this game, the ambiance, some of that stuff is just so well done. I still think this is a tremendous game. And your boy, back in 2009, now I was a wee lad back then. I was like 12 years old. I saw this game on the cover of a Game Informer magazine, and I'm like, bro, why are they promoting a Batman game? Batman games aren't about to be good. At that point in time, you know, superhero games didn't have the best track record. All we had was like X-Men Origins Wolverine, and shout out to that game because that game is a banger. But generally speaking, superhero games were pretty mediocre, and Batman Arkham Asylum literally turned out to be one of the best games of 2009. That year was stacked with a lot of great games, but yeah, still holds up fairly well, all things considered, again, given that it's 16 years old, but nonetheless, $3.99 on that is great. And then Batman Arkham City, guys, $3.99 on that is tremendous. The sequel to Batman Arkham Asylum, and I would argue the best of the Arkham series. I think this is the best out of any Arkham game. It is so good. The story is great. The world, I thought, was so well done. It was a good improvement upon Arkham Asylum. Like, Arkham Asylum set the table, and then Arkham City just built upon it, and it did such a great job. Love this game. Cannot say enough good things about it. Really one of the greatest video games of all time. I really should include Arkham City. I often talk about the pantheon of the greatest video games of all time. Arkham City should be in there. Arkham City is a phenomenal game, and just a tremendous outing from Rocksteady. Unfortunately, Rocksteady these days are absolutely washed. One of the saddest stories in gaming these days, alongside BioWare. Probably the two most cooked studios in gaming history relative to where they were, but nonetheless, Arkham City is still fantastic. Next up, we got the Danganronpa 1 and 2 bundle. $4.66 on this. You can get Danganronpa 1 for $1.19, which is an absolutely insane deal. Now, this deal will only be available for another day or so, so you want to jump on this as soon as possible. This deal is absolutely insane. Danganronpa is such an awesome game. It's absolutely not for everyone. It's got that quirkiness to it. It's got some zaniness to it, and if you're not playing a lot of Japanese games, you know, this probably wouldn't be the best gateway. But as far as a mystery title goes with an incredibly engaging story, Danganronpa is as good as it gets. And I will say Danganronpa 2 I thought was an even better game than Danganronpa 1. The games are outstanding. The soundtracks are incredible. Danganronpa is just phenomenal and doesn't get, I mean, it gets a lot of love. It's got an overwhelmingly positive reception on Steam for a reason, but guess what? It deserves even more love. These games are tremendous, and I highly recommend it. Play through these, and then get excited for Danganronpa 2X2 coming out next year. That should be fantastic as well. Next up, you know, we gotta give Ubisoft some credit here. Watch Dogs 2, 90% off for $4.99. Alright, we really don't have to give Ubisoft credit. They're kind of washed as well, but Watch Dogs 2, I thought was a really good game. Watch Dogs 1 was kind of, no, I don't want to say a disaster. I mean, the PC performance back in 2014 was really bad, but Watch Dogs 1 was a good game. I thought Watch Dogs 2 really built upon Watch Dogs 1 and became a really solid game. I thought a lot of the design choices were better. I thought the gameplay was better. I will say from a narrative standpoint, like, I wasn't blown away by Watch Dogs 1 from a narrative standpoint. Some people want to be like, oh my god, Aiden's such a cool character. Bro, Aiden's kind of a charisma vacuum in my opinion. But Watch Dogs 2, I think from a narrative standpoint and a character standpoint, even weaker than Watch Dogs 1. But, you know, it is what it is. I think from a gameplay standpoint, it's certainly enjoyable. $4.99, good deal on that. Next up, Prototype, 80% off for $3.99. Alright, if we want to talk about games that don't have a great story, I mean, Prototype's story is okay. Alex Mercer, the main character, has to be the greatest edgelord in gaming history. This dude is just so edgy, and it's just comical going back. I played this game a couple months ago, so it was just comical going back and playing this game and being like, yo, this dialogue's absolutely ridiculous. These cutscenes are terrible, but that doesn't matter when the gameplay goes as hard as Prototype's gameplay goes. Prototype, from a gameplay standpoint, is so much fun. In terms of games that make you feel like an absolute badass, few games are at the level of Prototype. Now, Prototype is a little bit janky on PC. They did recently release an update for the game that I heard messed up some of the mods. Now, this update came out, and then I downloaded the game. The game worked flawlessly for me. So that's just my experience with the game. You know, with PC, it's a little bit of the Wild West at times, but I'll tell you guys, my experience with this game was flawless. I've heard it works well on the Steam Deck as well. I played it on my PC, but nonetheless, $3.99 on that. Definitely a good deal there. Strider is 70% off for $4.49. Definitely a solid action platformer here. I wasn't somebody that grew up with Strider or anything like that, but as far as just a solid action platformer from Capcom, I thought they did a really good job with this. I thought it was a lot of fun. From my recollection, could get a little bit challenging, but that might be, you know, get good pal kind of thing. $4.49 for Strider, good deal there. Alright, next up we have Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebration Edition. This is 90% off for $3.99. This game got a lot of buzz recently in terms of people gravitating towards it, talking it up, wanting a Battlefront 3. Yeah, you gotta put those Battlefront 3 dreams to rest for now. I don't think that's gonna happen, but Battlefront 2, for $4, I think is a worthwhile deal. Now, the thing is, if you buy this game and you go online, yeah, you're gonna be fighting a bit of an uphill battle, to say the least, in terms of the people that are playing this game are gonna be pretty damn good at the game, so keep that in mind. But from a gameplay standpoint, it's great, and really, EA cooked themselves with this game when it came to the monetization and whatnot, and that is unfortunate, but, you know, you live and you learn, EA. I mean, they did a great job. They did a very good job so far with Battlefield 6. And for Battlefront 2, $3.99 on this, I think is a great deal. And you get the Celebration Edition as well, so check that out. A couple Final Fantasy games. I always got to glaze Final Fantasy a little bit. Final Fantasy VII is 60% off for $4.79. This is the original Final Fantasy VII. The remake obviously out, but the original kind of stands on its own. I always say, when it comes to Final Fantasy VII, please go download and install the Echo S mod that adds full voice acting to the game and improves the visuals. The voice acting is fan-done voice acting, but they did a killer job. I don't know who the people are, but pat yourselves on the backs, because they did a fantastic job. And Final Fantasy VII is an all-time classic. It's a tremendous, tremendous game that, again, even with the remake trilogy being out, the original is very much worthwhile to play. I love the game. I've played through it so many times, and for me, Final Fantasy VII also in the pantheon of the greatest games of all time. Just outstanding game, and not super lengthy, but a good length. Like, if you rush through it, you could actually beat FF7 like somewhat quickly, but take your time, you know, smell the roses a little bit of a PS1 era game, and have a good time with that. $4.79 on that. Final Fantasy VIII is 60% off for $4.79. This is one of the lesser received Final Fantasies that I do think over time has kind of, I feel like every Final Fantasy game almost people look back at with some fond remembrance. Like, even with Final Fantasy 13 and 15 these days, like, people look back at those games with fond remembrance as well. And Final Fantasy VIII has certainly fit into that criteria. Narratively, Final Fantasy VIII, I wasn't crazy about it, and I didn't even love a lot of the gameplay mechanics that they introduced in this game, but it's still a decent pickup for $4.79, and I might be down on Final Fantasy VIII comparatively to a lot of other people. Maybe that's coming off the heels of FF7, and bear in mind, I'm not playing these games when they initially came out on the PlayStation 1, at least not start to finish. I was so young back then. But, you know, going back and playing through them, FF8 wasn't one of my favorites, but Final Fantasy, it's always going to be a franchise that, dude, some people love FF8, some people like me love FF13. Like, FF13 is one of my favorite Final Fantasies, and a lot of people don't agree with that, but try out all the games. FF8 is still a good time. Next up, we have Dreamscaper, 80% off for $4.99. Very positive reception on this one. 1,300 reviews, 91% positive, 80 on Metacritic as well. An endlessly replayable action roguelike with a walking, dreaming gameplay cycle. By night, delve deep into your subconscious, facing nightmares in an ever-changing world filled with unique items, abilities, and challenges. By day, explore the city of Red Haven, deepen, build relationships, and unlock permanent upgrades in order to take on the next dream stronger than ever. That is available for $4.99. Check that out. Then we got Far Cry 4, 85% off for $4.49. Look, I think the Far Cry games are super consistent, even though I think after a while Far Cry got a little bit too stale in terms of its design, and maybe you could say that for Ubisoft open world games in general, but Far Cry 4 was enjoyable. Story was pretty decent, and I think the gameplay is great. Visuals still hold up quite nicely, even being 11 years old at this point, which is kind of wild to think about, but yeah, Far Cry 4 is a fun time. $4.49, fun open world game there. Planet of Lana, 75% off for $4.99, but you really want to get the White Shadows X Planet of Lana bundle. That's $3.70, and you get 2 games there. There is a sequel in development for the game, and Planet of Lana is a gorgeous puzzle title. A young girl and her loyal friend embark on a rescue mission through a colorful world full of cold machines and unfamiliar creatures. Planet of Lana is a cinematic puzzle adventure framed by an epic sci-fi saga that stretches across centuries and galaxies. 2,800 reviews, 93% positive there, 75% off for $4.99, but again, you want to get that bundle, that's $3.70. Halo Wars Definitive Edition is 75% off for $4.99. Look, if you compare Halo Wars to the top RTSs on the market and of all time, Halo Wars is incredibly simplistic. However, as far as real-time strategy games go, this is one of, if not the first RTS I ever played, and I played it on the 360, and I loved it. I loved it back in the day. And yeah, it's gonna show its age. It's gonna be a little bit simplistic, but I think it's great. And having that Halo setting, I think it's done really, really well. For $4.99, I think this is a great pickup and a game that's worthwhile to go back and play. If you like the Halo universe, like, I'm not absolutely crazy about Halo, but I appreciate the universe, and I thought Halo Wars was a cool game in said universe. So check that out for $4.99. We got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Base game is $3.99, but guys, I highly recommend the complete edition at $9.99. It's Witcher 3, like most of you guys have it. If you don't, smack yourself and then go buy it, because it's, again, one of the greatest games of all time, in the mix with the greatest video games. Like I said, I put it up there with Red Dead 2, put it up there with FF7. Witcher 3 is just phenomenal as an open world single-player RPG. And then lastly, Valiant Hearts The Great War, 75% off for $3.74. Another Ubisoft game, but a really, really well-done Ubisoft title. Gorgeous art style, and this one had an emotional war story in it as well. More so about the story and the adventure rather than, you know, any combat and engaging gameplay in terms of action-oriented gameplay. It's fine in that regard, but I think narratively and design-wise, it's really well done. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great Steam game deals for our Black Friday, under $5. Go check them out for yourself. Links to all of them in the description box below, and that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.